I'm Amy from Doodle Dog Designs. Welcome to my channel. When you're doing punch needle, it can be hard to get very small dots to look very precise and not look messy. So sometimes instead of doing just a punch or two with the punch needle, I will use beads in place of the punching, and sometimes I will use French knots. You can see on this project here, this is a free pattern that I have available on my site. I'll put a link in the description below. And I've used French knots for the berries here on this bittersweet vine. And I did use 6 strands of floss, and it made a pretty big berry. And then sometimes I'll do a smaller French knot like I did on this stocking here. And here I used 3 strands of floss to make these French knots. It's the same here on the ends of this Christmas tree. And for these berries on this ornament. And into the Christmas tree berries here. And these berries. You could also use the French knots if you want to make some very distinct eyes. Here you can see these eyes on this Santa. I did not use French knots, but I could have. So I'm going to show you how I go about doing the French knots in my punch needle. So on the pattern where the dot, the berry, or the eye, or whatever goes, I'm just going to punch all the way around that spot. And then you can see I have a little bit of a hole here in the middle. So then I'm going to use a needle and some thread. I'm going to use 3 strands of black thread. So I've got a knot at the end of my floss, and I'm going to come up from the back right on the spot where I want my dot and come to the front. And then to make a French knot, you wrap the thread around the needle. The more times you wrap it around the needle, the bigger of a knot you're going to get. I usually do 2 to 4 times, and then I want to put it back through the fabric close to where you came out, but not in the exact same spot. And then you're going to pull this end that's coming up through the fabric. You want to pull that tight and get it down to where it's right up tight against the fabric, and then push the needle through. And then that gives a French knot. Like I said before, you can use more strands of floss to make a bigger French knot, or twist it, wrap it around the needle more times. The more times you wrap it, the larger the knot will be. I punched around another dot, and I'm going to use 6 strands of floss here and make a French knot with blue thread. You can see how much bigger that 6 strand French knot is compared to the 3 strand French knot. And you definitely want to use a contrasting color when you're doing the French knots, because they don't poke out as much as the loops do unless you're doing a really short punching depth. So you want to be able to see them in amongst the punches, and you want to leave a pretty wide area around the punching also so they don't get lost in the punches. I hope you found that helpful. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe below. I'll see you next time. Bye.